Good day, my loves. How we doing today? I hope you're well. Sending you a lot of positive energy, a lot of love, a lot of healing, some clarity. Whatever it is that you need and require in order to move to the next phase of your life, whatever that may mean to you. Starting a business, traveling, living out your dream, getting married, having children, whatever it may be, right? So I was updating my social media, with my memes and stuff like that. And there was one that keeps like nagging at me. So I'm going to take it as a sign that I need to speak on it. I don't know what I'm going to say about it. So I'm just asking God and my ancestors to guide my lips, my thoughts, filter it through my heart. So whatever I say will resonate with you to help in whatever way possible. So one of the memes that I put up is the rapture is not physical, it's spiritual. And you don't have to be religious to understand what I'm talking about. You can even be an atheist and still get what I'm saying because you are experiencing the symptoms. Okay? So spiritual warfare is definitely real. And it is exactly what it says. It is a warfare on your spirit. No one's going to come knock down your door and try to put you back into slavery. No one's going to come knock down. I mean, they may. I don't know where you at in the world, okay? But for the most part, this is a spiritual. As above, so below. So if you are experiencing hell, I don't know what that was. I hope it was a ladybug. If you are experiencing hell, or what you would consider to be hell, everybody's hell is different because everybody's is not the same. So if what you consider to be hell, you are experiencing here in the 3D, here on earth, then understand there is a war against you in the spirit realm. There is a war against you. And so the only way to figure this out is to sit still, commune with God and your ancestors so you can see from whence it's coming from, okay? But let me tell you what spiritual warfare looks like or feels like here in the 3D. It is mental confusion. If at one point in time in your life you knew where you were going, you knew who you were, you knew what you wanted to do, your morals were intact, your foundations were set, and then all of a sudden you're confused. You don't know what up from down. You don't know if you're coming or going. You don't know who's your friend, who's not your friend. You don't know who to trust, who not to trust. You don't know what road to pass. Honey, that is somebody doing work on you, okay? Somebody is targeting you. Somebody is coming at your throat. They're coming at your neck. Especially if all of this stuff started and you were never this way before. Okay, so we're talking about mental. Now, spiritual warfare is not them just attacking you spiritually. They are attacking you on all fronts to get to you spiritually. Understand your spirituality and your spiritual self is the last form of defense. For me, that's how it played out. Okay, they attacked my body first. Okay, where I started feeling widespread pain and started having physical issues, pain, anxiety. I never had anxiety a day in my life, but the moment I turned 30, all hell started breaking loose in my life. And I mean that literally. And it started with my body. I started recognizing and seeing bruises that were never there before. And I'm like, well, what happened? Then getting diagnosed with a chronic illness, okay? And it started to go from there. Then came the mental instability with the anxiety and your emotions all over the place. And then you got people turning against you. So, mind you, all of this is going at the same time. It's not, okay, this happens and then that's over with, and then this happens and then that's over with. No, it was like a domino effect, okay? First came the physical ailments, right? But that didn't stop. And then came the mental instability or unclarity, is that, if that's even a word, where things was just confusing. Okay, and how that started manifesting here is that the people that you thought were loyal are not loyal, and then they all start gang stalking you, making you the problem. You're the scapegoat. Number one rule, or number one way to know if you're being gang stalked, or if you have a higher purpose than what you are currently living out, is if you are the scapegoat for everybody around you. Now, I'm not saying that you are not, excuse me, I'm not saying that you are not without fault. That is not what I'm saying. But one sole person cannot be the problem for a whole entire family, okay? That is a definitive sign of gang stalking and you being a scapegoat. If everybody around you is pointing a finger at you, now, listen, this may not apply. There's always exceptions to some rules, because if you are a devil being or if you are a negative entity, then yeah, you probably are the reason. But I am talking to the divine. I am talking to the chosen ones. I am talking to the workers of the light. If you know in your heart of hearts that you have been good and you have lived from your heart space and you have been authentic and you have been genuine, no, you are not, perfect. So you are fallible. So you may have done some things, you may have said some things. I'm not talking about that, because we're not perfect. But if you know all the decisions that you've made and you've loved unconditionally and you've accepted people, but yet and still people are saying that it's you're the problem, you're the issue, but nobody is pointing the finger at themselves, my darling, you are the scapegoat. Go look up some videos on narcissist and scapegoatism and you'll understand what I'm talking about. But this is not about that. I want you to understand what spiritual warfare is. It is an attack on your body. If you've all of a sudden come up with diseases and illnesses that you've never had a problem with, I don't care if it's sickle cell, diabetes, fibromyalgia, lupus. If you've never had these issues before, you are a very powerful being in the spirit world, and that's why you're being attacked up there. And it is manifesting in the ways that I have just described down here. Okay? That's the physical. Your mental, if you anxiety, panic attacks, phobias, vertigo. Never had an issue with any of those things, and then all of a sudden you're feeling this and you're feeling that. Baby boy, baby girl, they're doing work on you. Okay, get in contact with God, and I was about to say your God, whichever one you prefer. I don't care if it's a multitude. I don't care if you're praying to 5 of them at a time. They all speak to the one Creator. Doesn't matter which way we take it, whether it's Buddha, Jesus, Allah, doesn't matter. Okay? Then, we talked about the physical, then we talked about the mental. Mental and emotional is, to me, both in the same. If you're finding yourself in a position where you have no control over your emotions and you don't understand why, meaning you see the people that are treating you bad, you see them, but yet and still you cannot pull yourself away from them, knowing that they are not for your better good and for the sanctity of your mind. Someone is doing a binding spell on you. Okay, they're doing work on you. That is spiritual warfare. If you know this person done shitted on you, done messed you over, done fucked you over and everything, and you still like, oh, but why, oh, why? Baby, that is mental and emotional manipulation, okay? So you have the mental, physical, and emotional. But it's all because they want your spiritual gifts. You understand what I'm saying? They want your spiritual currency. They want your soul. You are a battery pack to them, and they want it. So if they can keep you bedridden because your body is in pain, if they can keep you confused because you lack mental clarity and you're confused, if they can tell you and make you believe that you are unloved, unsupported, and don't acknowledge who you are, then it'd be easy for them to steal your spirituality, your spiritual God-given gifts, to use you, to manipulate you energetically, and carry out what it is that you don't want to do. You don't. My thing was food. That's one of my biggest things. You'll hear me talk about it. And I'll be talking about that a lot more soon enough. But food is a culprit. Fast food, junk food, it all keeps us limited. In order to feed this vessel, in order to feed this avatar, in order to feed this sleeve, we must give it the right nutrients in order to operate at its optimal point. Food is a conduit for negative energy, okay? If you're eating negative foods, which is foods that are not alkaline, foods that are not real, foods that are not grown, foods that are not buried in the dirt and watered and fed by God's Son. If you are eating those things that are created in a lab, GMOs, if you are eating those things that are processed foods and filled up with a bunch of chemicals to keep their shelf life going on for years and years and years, you are doing yourself a disservice. And I understand. Food is one of my main things. And I've struggled with it my entire life. I finally got a hold on it. But I still struggle because I am breaking the programming. Everything that you do right now that does not serve you is part of an old, outdated programming that no longer serves you, especially if you're trying to get up and get out of whatever situation you are currently in. You must change your mindset. You must change your eating habits, your lifestyle, okay? That will strengthen you spiritually. But then while you're doing that here on the physical realm, you must still go deep within. You must learn to meditate. You must learn to read and sit in silence. And sitting in silence is one of the hardest things that you can do. Why? Because your mind starts keep it going. It keeps going. It keeps going and going. It's thinking about what you need to do today, what you need to do tomorrow, what you need to go to the grocery store and get, what the kids got to eat, what your husband got going on, what you got to do at the job. It keeps going. But throughout all of that noise that is going on when you're sitting still, God still speaks to us. And the more we sit still, and the more we meditate, and the more we have alone time and sit in silence, those voices become a little less deafening and God's voice becomes a little louder each and every time, I promise. It's difficult in the beginning, but continue to do it. No matter what distractions come your way, keep doing it. You will hear. And the moment you hear God's voice, your life will change for the better. It will. Trust and believe, but you must know the enemy that you fight. And it's not really here on the physical. Yeah, they may come off as that. They may be an op, a robot, a bot, whatever you want to call them. But understand that within them is a spiritual being that's operating them. And if they are vibing low, if they are living in their south node, if they are living in the dark space, they are easily susceptible to those darker energies to manipulate them. One incident was when someone tried to fight me that I would never, two of them, would never even have thought. I knew then that it was an entity that had taken over them because they were vibing so low. And I did not retaliate. I did not hit them back. I did not succumb to that energy. I wanted to understand, especially, and the devil knew what he was doing because I'm a fighter by nature. But I did not hit back. I did not hit back. I wanted to, but I did not. So when you are being compelled by someone's negative energy to react out of character, count to 10, count to 5. If it take 20, count to 20. Do not retaliate. I am not telling you don't defend yourself. I will not never tell you not to defend yourself. But you know when you're in a position to defend yourself and when you know someone is just antagonizing you and just trying to get you to just show your ass, okay? Fight or flight will take precedence when you are being threatened and when it is time to defend yourself. You will either defend yourself or you will run. But when someone is antagonizing you and trying to get you to come out of character, you know that too. Because you can see them. Use all of your eyes. You have 3 of them. And then sit still long enough to use your own intuition and discernment to whether or not this is a fight that you need to even get involved in. Some fights are not meant for you. Some fights you need to just leave it to God and your ancestors. That's it. Some of them, not all of them. Use your discernment to pick and choose. But remember, this is a spiritual war. It is not physical. It may feel physical because people are coming at you in the physical. They're throwing dirt on your name. They're lying on you. They're trying to get you fired from your job. They got a lot going on here in the physical. But while you are so busy focused on what's going on in the physical, they are still attacking you in the spiritual. You need to get in tune with your star player, your higher self. Okay? Remember that. Try to ignore what's going on in the physical and keep going deeper and deeper into your spiritual self. I once quoted and said that on the search to find God, I found myself. I did. And you will too. Everything that's happening is happening for a reason. Nothing will be wasted. Nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing you have gone through, nothing you've cried about, nothing you've screamed out about, nothing you have experienced, the unfairness, the treachery, nothing will go unwasted. God gonna use every nook and cranny, every teardrop, every outcry, every falling on your knees and praying, every question will be answered. But it will be answered in the time that is allowed. Because even though we want things right here, right now, are we equipped to handle what God gonna give us? I have come to that realization and understand that I am okay to wait. I'm okay to wait. And yeah, right now if you've watched any of my videos, you know my situation. So yeah, I'd be like, oh yes, I can't wait for this and I can't wait for that. But you know what? I know what comes with it now. It's a lot of responsibility. And I don't want anything that I am unable to take care of. I don't want God to give me anything that I am ill-equipped to handle and to take care of. Because if I do, I'm going to squander it away. And the gift from God comes once in a lifetime. So I don't want to squander that. I don't want to squander what one touch from God. Y'all know that. Y'all know. And if you're an atheist, I don't know who you believe. But I can tell you this. If you are an atheist, let me tell you something. One touch from God will change your whole entire life. And you could be an atheist and living high on a hog. You could have everything but you feel something. You feel something's missing. You feel something's missing. And again, I'm only talking to the chosen because there are some out there that don't feel anything is missing because they were brought here like that. If you believe in heaven, you got to believe in hell. If you believe in angels, then you have to believe in demons. There's balance. Earth is a school. We came here to learn. And you know what? I'm going to speak on this because this is like the 3rd time, the 5th time that I've seen this. And matter of fact, I'm just going to post another video about it. Let me keep this right here. So I'm about to end this one and I'm about to start another video. I love you guys. We have help. We are not here by ourselves. We are not in this alone. We are not in this alone. We are not in this alone. We have help. And your help is really going to come from the spiritual realm. It's not going to come from the people that you are expecting it to here on earth, here in the 3D. It's not. That's disappointing, I know, because you've helped a lot of people. And I ain't talking about those who watching this and thinking I'm talking about money. No. My time was more valuable than any money I have ever spent. Because you know what? You can't get time back. It's finite. You can't get it back. It's not like I can rewind and be like, okay, I'm going to claim back them 3 hours. You know, I wish I could be like Miss Maxine Waters and claim my time back from everybody that I gave it to, that squandered it, that didn't appreciate it, that didn't like it, that didn't like me, but was willing to take any and everything that I gave, okay? I wish I could. But regret, I don't. Because now I know through all those things who I am, and I appreciate me so much. I love me to the death, and I mean that to the death. To the death of me, I love me. I am not putting no one else before me ever again. Ever again. I will love unconditionally and support unconditionally. But first I must do that for myself. I can't do it for nobody else if I can't do it for myself. Take that as a message for yourself. I love you guys. Stay grounded. Stay in the light. We do have to go to the dark to understand certain things, but always seek the light, okay? Namaste, Mazel Tov, Ashe, my loves.